Hey everyone, it's Boogeyman Ben. Hope everyone's doing well and everyone's having a nice day. This is a requested video from my good buddy ArkhamKnight84. He asked me what my top 10 Stephen King films are. Now I've done a couple videos in the past where I've talked about, specific Stephen King films, but I've never talked about my top 10 films that have been brought out based on his works. And I'm going to be mixing in not only horror films, but also some of the dramas that have been based on his works as well. So, Arkham Knight, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope everyone else enjoys this, and please stay tuned. 1983's Cujo. This film was directed by Louis Teague. It stars Dee Wallace, Daniel Hugh Kelly, and Danny Pintura. This film absolutely terrified me as a kid. My family had a dog, a little small dog, when I was a kid. So I grew up loving animals and loving dogs. And I remember watching this film. I think I watched it at my father's house when it was on like HBO or Showtime back in the early 80s. So like 84, 85, early to mid 80s, back when it was on cable. And the scenes of this dog going after the family in the car, the characters of Donna and Tad in the car. I mean, it's just such a terrifying scenes, and the way that it was shot, I thought Louis Teague did a terrific job directing this film. It is just one of the most terrifying. There's just some scenes in it that just really are nightmare-inducing, and this film has always had a special place in my heart, being one of the films that really scared me as a kid that I grew to love. Stand By Me, and I've talked about this film many times, so I won't go into some of the same things that I've said before, but I think it's just a beautiful film, terrific cast, terrific writing, direction, everything about this movie is perfect. As I've said before, it holds a special place in my heart now more than when I was a child, because it is one of those films that I think just as you get older, you reminisce about, what it was like being a kid, how freeing it was, and I don't know, there's just so many things about this film that are just so wonderful, and I can't say enough good things about it. I absolutely love Stand By Me. This is Misery, starring Kathy Bates, James Caan, directed by Rob Reiner. Terrific film, just such a tension-filled masterpiece, and I just love everything about it. I love Kathy Bates. She's always been one of my favorite actresses. She's terrific as Annie Wilkes. I really love James Caan as Paul Sheldon. I mean, you really feel what he's going through in this film. The direction is terrific. Completely opposite of a Rob Reiner film, the last Rob Reiner Stephen King film, which was Stand By Me. I mean, just a completely different type of film, and I think he handles this material just as masterfully. List is Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, The Shining. Now, I know that this film is not a completely 100% faithful adaptation of Stephen King's masterpiece novel, but I still think this film is truly horrifying. I think it's just the direction, the acting, the cinematography, the music, which I think is just the music is just it's almost like it's perfect with the setting of it being a winter snowbound in Colorado with cabin fever setting in. Just the music is cold, and it just makes you feel colder when you watch the film. But absolutely love this film. I still think it's terrifying, and in my opinion, is Stanley Kubrick's best film. Is The Mist, which was written and directed by Frank Darabont from Stephen King's short story. Absolutely terrific film. I mean, I still think Frank Darabont should just do every Stephen King adaptation. He's just amazing with what he can do with Stephen King's works. But yeah, terrific cast: Thomas Jane, Laurie Holden, Jeffrey DeMunn, Francis Sternhagen. Just an amazing cast. Very creepy story. Such a well done movie, and it's a movie that I absolutely loved. First time I saw it, and I just think it gets better with age. The Secret Window, which was adapted from Stephen King's short story Secret Garden, Secret Window, from 4 Past Midnight. It was adapted and directed by David Koepp. starring Johnny Depp. This was right after the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie had come out, so I absolutely love this film. I think Johnny Depp is terrific in this film. It's pretty much a one-man show, because yes, John Turturro is in it, as is Maria Bello, but most of the film takes place in this cabin where Johnny Depp, his character of Mort Rainey, is trying to write. He's dealing with he's dealing with the ramifications of his wife having an affair on him, and then he starts being harassed by this man named John Shooter, who claims that Mort has stolen his story. And I just love this film, where you just see sort of Johnny Depp's Mort Rainey sort of descend into madness. It's a terrific film, a tour de force performance by Johnny Depp, and I think a completely underrated film. Next on my list is Creepshow. Absolutely love this film, and it's still my favorite George Romero film of all time. I remember seeing this film in the movie theater. I also had the comic that was released to go inside with the movie. Just absolutely love this film. Terrific cast in this. You have Leslie Nielsen, Adrienne Barbeau, Hal Holbrook, Ed Harris. Stephen King even plays a character in it. Ted Danson, E.G. Marshall, just terrific cast. All these stories are so much fun. They're a complete homage to the EC comics like Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror and The Haunt of Fear. The Crate has always been my favorite. Absolutely love Creepshow. I hope one day we'll get a special edition of this here in the States. They have one overseas, and I've actually seen the documentary that they did with it. It was friggin' phenomenal, and I'm pissed that this film has not gotten the special DVD treatment that we deserve. Absolutely love Creepshow. Terrific film. This is The Shawshank Redemption, again adapted by Stephen King's short story Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption, which was in different seasons, by the amazing Frank Darabont. He wrote and directed this. I absolutely love this film. What a beautiful film, and I know there's so many people that absolutely love this film, but I remember when I watched this film for the first time, and how moved I was, and I was shocked, that this film brought out emotions in me, and it was a Stephen King story. I mean, Stand By Me had come before this, but nothing was as powerful as this film. And again, you have terrific performances: Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, Clancy Brown, William Sadler. It's so well done. You're so into these characters, you're so into the story. The movie could have probably gone on another hour, and it's just not a boring film, even as long as it is. It's just such a terrific film. There's just nothing bad you can say about this film. I absolutely love it. I'm so glad that it's gotten the praise that it so rightfully deserves. It got completely robbed at the Oscars that year. And I'm so glad that people have embraced this film as they should. It's a terrific, terrific film. List was Pet Sematary. This movie is still completely terrifying. I absolutely love the book, and I absolutely love this film. It was the first novel that Stephen King ever adapted from his works, so he wrote the screenplay for this. But I also think Mary Lambert did a terrific job directing this. I love all of the cast in it: Dale Midkiff, Denise Crosby, the amazing and unfortunately late Fred Gwynne, who was amazing as Jug Crandall. Absolutely loved him in this. And yeah, it's just everything. There's so many scenes in this film that are creepy. The scene was with Zelda, who has spinal meningitis, when Gage comes back from the dead. Church, the cat, showing up after being resurrected from the Micmac grounds. I mean, everything in this film is just terrifying. Number 2 on my list is The Green Mile. And The Green Mile is a movie I haven't spoken about in a video on my channel because, again, it's not a horror film. But a lot of people might be surprised that I picked this one over Shawshank Redemption. And I don't know what it is, because I remember the first time I saw Green Mile, my girlfriend and I at the time went and saw it. And after the movie, I was so depressed. This movie doesn't end on a very happy note like Shawshank does. Shawshank is a very uplifting ending, whereas this ending just makes you feel horrible. And it's such a movie that left a lump in my throat. Not that I didn't like it the first time I saw it, but I felt so bad for what happens to the main characters. But over time, I don't know what it was about this film, but it just grew on me and grew on me. And the more I watched it, the more I just loved it. One thing, again, about this film is that it is phenomenally cast. Tom Hanks is terrific as Paul Edgecombe. Michael Clark Duncan, the late Michael Clark Duncan, which is so unbelievably sad just to say that, is terrific as John Coffey. You also have the late Michael Jeter, David Morse, James Cromwell, Bonnie Hunt, Sam Rockwell, just terrific actors. Every one of those people just completely shines in this film, and I'm surprised that this movie didn't get more nominations either. It came out the same year that American Beauty came out, and that kind of overshadowed it, even though I think American Beauty is a great film. It does not hold a candle to The Green Mile. This movie, it's about life, it's about death, it's about forgiveness of sins. It's got a very strong emotional chord to it, and it's a film that still breaks me up when I watch it. It's a beautiful film. I absolutely love it, and I cannot say enough great things about it. Absolutely wonderful film. I love The Green Mile, number 2 on my list. Number 1 on my list should be of no surprise to people that know me, Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot will always be my favorite Stephen King film. It was the first film I ever remember watching that was written by Stephen King, or source material was written by Stephen King, and after that I wanted to see every movie that came out about Stephen King's works, and I wanted to own all of Stephen King's books. Salem's Lot is my favorite horror film of all time. It's also one of my favorite films of all time. It's just a terrific film. So that's about it. Arkham Knight, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please share your thoughts with me, and I want to thank everyone for checking this video out, and I hope everyone has a great evening. Peace.